You say you saw it, they earnings.
I ain't see it yet. What happened?
Shoot, they reported and they said they basically was saying that they hold on. They was basically saying that they're not gonna be showing the engagement numbers no more moving forward.
Ah,
Like,
shit.
what? You like what? What you mean you not gonna that mean things ain't looking too good over there and
I'm
so
gonna
they
get the
down.
fuck out.
Now just stop, man. So that means I don't know if I don't know. They down $6 after the bell, so that's definitely something that we need to look for. I mean, you go from $144 stock split, and then you report earnings for and being the largest in the digital media space, obviously in the streaming space, and I think they down about $60 after the bell right now. About $60 after the bell. So that's definitely something we need to look into. We gonna look into it today. I remember last week Joseph talked about it too. He was like, "Yo, I'm thinking about buying." He said, "I'm thinking about buying puts on
Close. Mhm.
Netflix." Remember he said that? He said I'm thinking about buying puts on Netflix before they earnings, and then they just report earnings. They down $6 after the bill. So man, there's a couple things that we gonna have to talk about with them, a couple other companies. But before we do that, how everybody doing? How we feeling? How everybody feeling?
Good, man. Good.
Amazing.
Good. How the mental? How everybody feeling? I know the
Exciting because
market
it
been
was like a
choppy.
really frustrating ending.
Chilling,
Hey
chilling.
man, don't be scared. If you scared, take your ass to church, boy.
Out the gate.
You
Out the gate.
scared? You this what we asked for. We asked for these deep dips. And remind you, it is midterm election. So if we seeing and remind yourself, last year we had a bad July. I don't know if y'all remember, but July was rough. Then we flew through August, flew through September, flew through October. And then about October 23rd, that's when we start going downhill. I remember
Mhm.
I was in Dubai watching it. Pew, 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 pew. But it's all good, man. Stay positive. This is what we asked for. You seeing stuff half price. Nate posted all them prices inside of there earlier. Everything damn near half price. So what we gonna do? Barbecue or mildew? The story has not changed. They still spending billions of dollars. Look at who was that? Ernest? That was
TSM.
TSM. Come on
Hmm.
now. Look at that. That's damn near 5 billion. Was that $5+ billion over?
Hmm.
Come on now. So has the story changed? No, the story ain't changed.
No, it hasn't. It
Story
hasn't.
not
And,
changed.
and to that point, Keys, I got a question for you. Because I know everybody's familiar with Keys, but we always hear Keys, very confident, yelling loud, just very proud, of everything that he's done. Brother Keys, talk to us about how you stay faithful during times of uncertainty. Well, what keeps you not scared? What keeps you moving forward?
I think the biggest thing now, don't get me wrong, I have my days, where I have self-doubt, but I gotta understand I got a God and a man above to take care of everything, whether I got it in my hands or not. Right. And then the biggest thing, brothers, is brothers and sisters, we've seen this before. We've seen this before. The market has to breathe, but when it breathes this deep, like it has been, what is on the other side, right? So, another big thing is watching Wall Street Trapper on that first 30 minutes, that Bible study. And I feel like a lot of that stuff that he relates, I relate to. It's like every week he always speaking to me. So, when I have these tough times, I just go and watch that first 30 minutes, and be like, okay, it is on me, or, the opportunity cost, it's on my back. Because don't nobody in my family know anything about no generational wealth. They work 9 to 5. We got a couple people who own businesses, but is it as, deep? Nah. So I think the biggest thing is keeping your faith, brother, and understand that you hold for the long term and not the short term. That's the biggest thing too. If you believe in a company, you see that they printing money. Like these companies have been printing, so people might rotate for a short amount of time, but Bad things don't ever last. What goes up must come down, and what goes down must come up, especially in the market. So that's
Exactly.
just it, brother.
Exactly. That's what's up, man. And I'm glad he just talked about that because the reason why I love the market so much is because I said this last week. If you put the market on one spectrum and then you put life right next to it, you actually start seeing a lot of similarities. Right. And so the same thing that when we get in the market, if we planned, if we in position, if we prepared, 9 times out of 10, us moving forward, we're probably gonna do pretty well. But if we not playing, if we just doing random stuff, moving chaotic, we probably gonna live a life of chaos. So just being prepared, sticking to your rules. That's probably one of the biggest things that helped me in the beginning, not just with trading, but investing, everything, bro. Stick to your rules. And if you don't have no rules, get some rules, get a plan. Right. Once you have a plan, you got kind of like this book of commandments that you stick by, right? Whenever you feel doubt, whenever you feel worried, where you don't know what next direction I need to take, always revert back to your rules. And for a lot of us that are not in the market, for a lot of people that are out here in the world that's not investing, their rules are typically something that they look up to when it comes to like the Bible, when it comes to the Quran, when it comes to their fraternity at the end, the rules that they stand on. So just the same thing in this market, bro. Find some rules to stick to, bro. Right? And my rules, buy on a deep discount, right? Buy quality companies and buy time on them. Right. Once you do stuff like that, you alleviate a lot of the silly mistakes that you'll make when you don't have rules. That makes sense. You alleviate a lot of the mistakes that you will have if you don't have rules. Right. So we got a jam packed. I got a lot of stuff I want to show y'all today. I low key want to get straight to it, man. I want to actually share my screen now, and we about to get straight to it. But before that, KB, how we feeling, family?
Great family. I was just about to speak to your point, Nate. Uh, to become a better trader, you got to understand what type of person you are too. Like trading is going to show you what type of person you are. Your patience level. Like I used to have bad patience. I used to be impatient, need stuff now. Now with my calls and shit like that, my puts, or no, I don't do puts. I'm sorry, but I got to be more patient. I gotta wait for it to plan out. Like you said, if I buy time, buy quality on a deep discount, I'm good, bro. I just got to be patient, and that's what I got better at, honestly.
Got better, at it, right? And,
Yeah.
and I think one of the biggest things too. Before I let Nigel say something, I'm about to share my screen. I think one of the biggest things too is like um, you can never be prepared for crazy shit to happen. Right? Not just in the market, but in life in general. Bro, you don't know what's planned for tomorrow, right? And so I feel like for myself, and I feel like for a lot of us that's been through a lot of shit, you understand regression to the mean, right? That's one quote I say to myself every single day, bro. It's always gonna be regression to the mean. What does that mean? Regression to the mean. All that means is no matter how good things get, no matter how bad things get, things always got to regress back to the middle, right? So you can be on a winning streak, shit going good in life. You gotta go through shit to understand why shit is feeling good. You gotta know in the back of your head, this is not always gonna be like this. And vice versa. If it's just a black dark cloud over your life and shit just not making sense, you running out of money. Your girl left you, shit ain't going right. You sick, you not doing too well. You gotta also understand. You gotta be faithful. You gotta understand that it's not gonna rain forever, bro. Right? You gotta tell yourself that. On the downside, it's bro, the sun gonna come out again. Stay positive. Keep going, bro. And then on the good side, you making money, everything green, everything we cooking, shit so easy. You gotta also start understanding, yo, I gotta prepare for what if this shit is not as green no more. And when you start doing shit like that, you start putting yourself in a really, really good situation to never fall off, right? To never fall off, right? And so we got vehicles. Bro, there's hella vehicles for you not to fall off. Life insurance, owning stocks, owning real estate. There's vehicles that you have to not fall off. But that's not more what I'm worried about for us. What I'm not worried, concerned, what I'm concerned about for us not to fall off is more of your mental state rather than just your finance or this materialistic stuff. Bro, I can buy a whole bunch of Louis Vuitton bags. I can have a $20 billion portfolio. But you see billionaires that kill themselves. Why? Because they never took time to develop this, bro. They never took time to develop this. And your hardships and your hurdles and them hard days is what gives you the opportunity to develop your mind to a stronger state, bro. So don't look at the bad days, the slow days, the rough days. Don't look at that as like, man, I can't believe I'm going through it. No, be glad like, damn, I know when I overcome this shit, ain't shit gonna be able to stop me. Right? Right? Joseph.
You know
Yeah,
what's so
please.
funny now that you say that?
What's up, bro?
Trading has taught me that mindset to a T, bro, to an absolute T. Because it's just like it's you're never gonna go through a million bad days without a single good one. It's just like, how do you keep your mindset strong enough to capitalize off the good one after you just went through 100 days of hell? It's just like, how do you still look at the bright side? And I think, like, to your point of mindset, it's just like there are people in the world who kind of go through hell and they blame life. They kind of look at life like, oh, woe is me type of thing. But if you're not looking at the bright side of, I kind of need to use these days to we all hear the term character development. We all go through stuff to make us stronger. And I feel like those days they kind of make your wins just feel like a little bit better. You kind of learn to cherish them a little bit more. I just love the mindset that you're bringing to the table, all of you guys. It's just like a beautiful way of thinking, and I just kind of wanted to share that beautiful,
You,
beautiful, beautiful mindset to share.
you wanna know what's so crazy is, bro, I was in Ohio this weekend for my cousin's baby shower. I will never forget this man. His name was Evan. Bro, he didn't know me from Adam and Eve, bro. I never even told him my name. Didn't even tell him. Only thing I told him is what I did. And bro, he knew me like the back of my hand, and he was drunk as a skunk, bro, and just telling me, "Hey, bro, you gotta persevere. You the only one in your family." He's like, "You gotta hire good people around you, but you also gotta take care of your people." And bro, I was so feeling it this past weekend. Like, bro, I get tired of it. Keep having to go through the same thing, having to deal with the same stuff, and it's crazy because he knew all of this stuff. So I don't know if he was a God angel sent or whatever, but I'm talking about he knew me to a T. And it goes to show you, like, bro, the successful people go through this, and you can tell he was talking from experience, right? And the biggest thing is to understand is like you're gonna go through stuff inside of life, but it's about how you persevere through it, and perseverance is what makes you who you are, whether you trading, whether you in your regular business, whether you in your regular job, whatever the case may be. So that mindset to keep pushing when things go wrong, you know is what makes us who we are, right?
Mm,
And so a lot of people can't get beat up in a day and get up the next day like ain't nothing happened.
mm,
That's the thing that sets us apart. The people that are inside this group, we can get beat up in the market and we can look up the next day, all right, what's going on? Let me go ahead and let me make a move, okay? If not, let's sit on our hands. So it's stuff that we seeing, but it's the market. Understand this, we're buying for the long term and we shall overcome. That's the biggest
absolutely.
thing.
Absolutely. And then Nigel, you had something to say real quick before I show these charts?
Yeah, just real quick, man. The main thing I would say that the market has taught me is to respect money.
Mm,
Even if you have it to, spend, and I'm not, even $500 just to spend on the side, respect the money. Respect the money. And also, cash is a position. And I know that's something that Nate preaches. But that is an important position, probably the most important position when you've won or you feel like you're on a good streak. you know. But that's really
Mhm.
it.
Yeah, that's fire. That's fire. And yeah, just to both of y'all points, bro. Um, and to Key's point first, bro, there's a lot of groups out here, there's a lot of people out here that when days beat them up, they can't get back up. Right? There's a lot of people that are crashing out right now, making dumb decisions, punching their wife, beating their girlfriends up, beating their kids up, trying to beat their boss up, just cannot control their emotions. And it's because they don't have an accountability system, right? And I feel like that's one thing that we build inside the ecosystem. We keep each other accountable, right? If somebody's saying, hey, let's go all go calls right now, no, you got somebody saying why, right? That one question of why will have you re-asking yourself, damn, is this a good decision? Not just in the market, but just in life, right? Not just in the market, in life as well. Bro, this shorty, I'm trying to talk to this shorty. Why? Well, because she got, she look good. What does she do? Boom, boom, and boom for you, though. Nah, she don't really do that. That one question of why, that accountability system, can save your life. And in this situation, that one question can save your account, right? Can save your account. So man, let's always just keep that perspective, bro, of just trying, just staying positive, of building that community and getting back up the next day. Nigel just said it, bro. You on a run, you making some money, you still have to respect the process that you own and how you got here. Because if you don't respect it, you're gonna be back at square one trying to start all over again. And I promise you, it don't feel good to keep starting over. And I can tell people all day, hey, make sure you be careful doing this, be careful doing that. In the beginning, niggas like, man, this nigga Nate just talking, bro. I ain't hearing him. Then when you keep blowing that account and you blow it again, and then you blow it again, and then you like, bro, what am I doing wrong? Maybe I'm about to slow up buying so many trades all day. And maybe I'm gonna just kind of take the patient man route. I always say this. Remember, if you got some notes, write this down. We want to be snipers over machine gunners, bro. We want to sit in the bush and size our target up. It might take us all day to get that headshot, but as long as we get that headshot, we got the job complete.
What's good with you, Nate?
What's
I'm new
up,
to
family?
I'm new to the ecosystem. I'm Tevin, brother.
Okay,
It's nice to meet y'all, man. But I got a 5 word sentence that I live by every day. Charge it to the game. You
charge it
go
to the game.
you go through hell, charge it to the game. You feel me? Because it's all a mental thing at the end of the day. And as somebody that went through hell his whole life, you feel me? Them 5 words saved me gracefully.
Yeah,
Charge it to the game.
I wanted to properly introduce my brother CJ too. Um After leaving when I first met Nate, quick story and I'll sum it up because I know you want to get to these charts, but Nate told me when I first met Nate, he told me that you got to change your environment, and when you change your environment, you start to see things, you start elevating. So, when I had went to California, I met my brother CJ, and me and CJ just have that synergy. Every deal we done is together. Anytime, hey, look, I'm looking to put money up into this investment, or I'm looking to do this type of deal, he always had my back. So I just wanted to properly introduce my brother CJ, to the ecosystem. I've been trying to get him in here for a while now, but I'm happy he's here. He's gonna be joining us at InvestFest too. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, welcome, family. And like I
Welcome,
said, bro,
welcome.
you got a good group of people here, bro. You got a good group of great women in here. You got a good group of brothers in here too, bro. That's gonna have your back, man. I know Tori new in here too. Shout out to him. I don't really get to do the introductions, man, because we be so busy and doing all this. But man, I really appreciate everybody coming on here just willing to grow every single week, right? This is called number 35. And the more these numbers stack up, it just resembles like, damn, discipline, right? Damn, 35 what? 35 weeks in a row that we communicate with each other. Bro, people don't even make it to 12 weeks in a row of doing anything, right? 12 weeks in a row of doing anything. That's way past the 21 days of trying to change a habit. Bro, that's only 3 weeks. We're 35 weeks and beyond. And we still here, we still growing this thing, bro. So let me show you this screen real quick, and then we gonna come back on here and just chop it up for a little bit. Talk about the future outlook of July for the next 2 quarters, and then we gonna be off here. All right, cool, cool. All right, cool. So first things first, I want to look at this chart of SPX. And the reason why I want to look at this is because you hear so many people screaming, um, the markets is over with. I can't believe the markets is falling. Um, we knew it was going to be a bad July. Man, I can't believe that we are just, falling out the sky. And like I love to remind us, bro, we're not falling out the sky. We're not falling out the sky. In reality, we're less than 100 points away from all-time highs. We're less than 100 points away from all-time highs, right? And mind you, if you're new to this, this is the S&P 500. This is the largest, these are the largest 500 companies, basically, that are in the index, right? So out of the top 500 companies, there's thousands and thousands of companies on the planet. The largest 500 get inducted into basically like the Hall of Fame, right? And that's what the S&P 500 represents. And then we have something that tracks how all 500 companies are doing all at once, right? And so that's the S&P 500. And this is tracking how we're doing as a whole. And in reality, like I said, bro, we're less than 90 points away from all-time highs. So it's like we're not holistically at aggregate selling off. Why people are feeling the sell off is because technology has been selling off. Tech, right? That is why you've been feeling it, right? If you invested into tech, which most people are, most portfolios are, surrounded by technology, you've been feeling a pullback. You've been feeling a pullback, right? And for them to get back to all-time highs, they were at 30,000, about 790, almost 30,800, right? They're at 28,000. What's up, Joseph?
To your point, I think the reason why a lot of people are panicking, if you zoom out, look at what the chart was doing like a couple of weeks back. We kind of had that surprise rally off the Iran and the just the war. And then now we kind of slowed down. We had that huge euphoria, right? We had that huge run. Think of the sentiment that people were thinking back then. Oh my God, the market's going to sell off. We're going to crash. We're going to crash. We're going to crash. And now finally, when we're doing it, everybody's like, oh, well, I just bought in. They kind of bought high. So throughout that entire rally, everybody is just going through this huge euphoria, but also that huge fear of, hey, will the market eventually sell off? You have how many green candles in a row? And then, well, I don't know if you want to count that red one, but this is the first time you get that slow chop, and it's just natural. All of these feelings that you guys are probably feeling, super natural. But you need that in order for that future growth. We mentioned at the beginning of the call, sometimes things need to slow down, right?
Yeah.
In order to kind of recoup to go and build bigger. We mentioned in the first call that I ever hopped on, the market needs to buy time. We need more participation. How do you generate that participation? By slowing the market down. Slow
Mm,
it down. Get people to sell into fear. And then what happens? The big dogs step in, they swoop in, they absorb all of those people selling. And then if the market wants to continue higher, it continues higher. This is one of the largest rallies in stock market history, if not the biggest rally, if I'm not mistaken. So we kind of got to take that and use that information to assess why we're feeling the way that we're feeling. It's one thing to feel an emotion, but it's another to ask why we're feeling it. To your point at the kind of beginning of the call, question everything. Why is one of the biggest words that you can use. And that's
wow.
sort of the way that I'm looking at it.
Absolutely, brother. And so then just to his point as well, when I take this measuring tool right here from that bottom, uh, back in March, right? When the Iran and all this other stuff, and we need their oil and blah, 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 blah. From the bottom all the way to this high here, which was June 1st, right? this high here. And then we consolidated around here. That's a 35% gain. 35% gain in about 5 weeks. This is not a stock, bro. This is the entire sector. 35% gain, bro. That's in a few weeks.
It's unreal, bro. That's massive.
That's what are we talking about? That's not even real. And then I'm gonna take the measuring tool and I'm gonna go to the downside just to see where we are now. Let me see. So, and then I'll take the high here and I'll come down to where we are. Bro, we're down about 6%. So 35% on the way up, and we're down. We gave 6% of that back from the 35%. Um, we're doing okay. We're doing okay. Where it's not as bad as it seems, right? And the reason why I say that is because I think we got so used to that euphoria that Joseph was talking about that when we are experiencing any little turbulence, it feel like the world is ending, the world is falling. No, it's because we got programmed to thinking that this type of shit is normal. No, this shit is not normal. So then when we do get these chop and we get this pullback, I honestly think, me personally, I could be wrong. I think we continue to keep chopping through here. Especially like Keys just said, it's midterm elections. You got 4 or 5 months left of the year as well. And then, obviously the elections are in November, right? So I feel like we continue to get chopped through here. What do you think, Joseph?
Draw out a trend line. Like you can zoom out more. Draw out a trend line, and you'll see kind of what I'm looking at. This is how I'm tracking the S&P. If you zoom out a little bit, draw out a trend line from Can I annotate on your screen? Maybe. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can. Oh, perfect. Okay. All of this, by the way, you guys all should be leveraging this. This is like free information. Look at all of these trends. These are all key levels that you're using for the future. Where we're at in current day is definitely still undervalued relative to where we could be, right? So if you have long-term conviction in the S&P and the economy continuing that growth and tech and AI obviously continuing that growth, all these companies continuing that growth. Right now, all of this chop is simply just opportunity. We mentioned the last time we were on the call, this is one big head and shoulders pattern. We called it before this even happened. We literally predicted an entire war. And then what happened? The market went higher. So, for my opinion, this chop completely normal. And all of these are just future levels that we could be trading into. So instead of like looking at this and kind of reacting to what we're, doing, I would focus on the future value. Manage your positions accordingly. And then once you're able to do this, you kind of look at value differently. All of this is simply just buying time, guys. Just buying time.
Buying time. And to his point too, before I get back to the chart, I wanted us to see this video of Jensen talking about this AI race with Joe Rogan. We can see my screen still? Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Joseph, you think you can get rid of that those lines? That look like something strange, big dog. All right, cool. Let's see.
Technology race. It's a really important race because whoever gets to the event horizon of artificial intelligence is, whoever gets there first has massive advantages. We are always in a technology race. We were the ones that learned from it. We industrialized it. We diffused it faster than anybody in Europe. They were all stuck in discussions about policy and jobs and disruptions. Meanwhile, the United States was forming. We just took the technology and we ran with it. I think we're still in a technology race. It is probably the single most important race. It gives you superpowers, whether it's information superpowers or energy superpowers or military superpowers, is all founded in technology. And so technology leadership is really important. We're in the middle.
So I want y'all to see that one and then this one.
Well, if I were a student today, irrespective of whether it's for math or for science or chemistry or biology, or it doesn't matter what field of science I'm going to go into or what profession I am, I'm going to ask myself, how can I use AI to do my job better? If I want to be a lawyer, how can I use AI to be a better lawyer? If I want to be a better doctor, how can I use AI to be a better doctor? If I want to be a chemist, how do I use AI to be a better chemist? If I want to be a biologist, how do I use AI to be a better biologist? That question should be persistent across everybody.
So I wanted us to see this, right? And the reason being is because just to Joseph's point, right? We all know the magnitude and the severity of who Jensen Wong is and what he is a part of and what he created, right? And when we talk about AI in the future, if the guy that is kind of at the center point of the infrastructure of AI, if he's not worried and he's saying we have a lot more to go, and we're going to actually get superpowers as we continue to keep growing this thing, and there's still a race. Wait, the race isn't over? No, we're still in the second phase of a 10 phase process for the next 20, 30 years. Right? So to Joseph's point, this shit is actually more than healthy. Really, if you want to be honest, we low-key need a little bit more of a correction if we're really going to go to these heights that we've never seen before, right? If you think this market is done, I think you're mistaken. If you think we're not going higher, I think you're mistaken. If you think that we break all-time highs this year, and then we broke them again, and you don't think we're gonna break all-time highs ever again, I think you're mistaken, man. I think you're mistaken. What's up, brother?
There's also a way to track like the market's intent, by the way. If you like draw multiple trend lines, you'll be able to track the market's intent. Like you'll be able to know as soon as this move is over. There's a way to actually track that, and I think Nate, you've been
Do your
doing it with
thing.
those trend lines. No, no, no. You see how on your screen you have multiple trend lines?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
If you guys just leverage the basics, like I hope you know this. Trend lines and like breaks of structure. You guys all know what breaks of structure are?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you guys just do that on like multiple scales, you'll be able to spot like as soon as the market's done. As soon as like the market forms like a couple of trend lines, as soon as the last one, like the capitulation phase, or like everybody's out of the market that's like needs to be out to kind of gain that fuel, yeah, the market will eventually recover and you can time it. That's like the best thing that you can do. Nate already has. Are you running EMAs on your screen? I actually don't know what indicator this is.
Yeah, these are the EMAs. So I got the 50, 100, 200, and then I had the 400 day MA. And this is just the basic ones I'll try to keep on there just to kind of give us, a little bit direction, right? I used to have a lot on my chart, and Joseph, I know you're familiar with this. When you got a messy chart, you're actually looking at so many indicators. So I try to just keep it as simple as possible, bro.
I don't think there's any point for a messy chart to be honest, because like people can kind of confuse indicators with like they think it's like a prediction tool. Indicators are kind of like an assistant tool. It's not a prediction tool. There's no such thing as like predicting markets. It's only like reacting to what the odds are. And like even now, like where we're at right now in terms of like the full cycle, we're trading into new highs. We're kind of trading into very minimal support. Like look at the market. Huge, massive, massive, massive growth. Like in terms of AI, I don't think this slows down anytime soon. By the way, draw out a channel. You can easily draw the channel here.
Let me see.
You'll see just how undervalued we really are. Keep going, keep going. There you go.
Yeah, that's actually crazy.
I have one drawn out all the way from the Great Depression, but this, yeah, still so undervalued. And the more time we buy, like look at zoom in a tiny bit, like in current day. I want to show you guys something. The longer we trade sideways for, the higher that ceiling becomes because more people got to get in the market and absorb kind of that selling pressure from other unsuspecting traders. People
Mm.
are thinking, oh, we're overvalued. The market's done. I think that's an ignorant way to look at the markets. But yeah, look how much upside we have. Significantly more upside. And this is all historical data. It's not like we're making this up. It's not like we're predicting out of just nowhere. We're not coming up with magic numbers. This is historical data that we're using, dating all the way back to when the global financial crisis. So like
Yeah.
all of this is data. Use as much data as possible. There's still so much more upside. The market really hasn't even hit that euphoria phase, by the way. Like all of these moves, they're small relative to what we're going to get. That's my humble opinion. Like I think like we get like a really massive rally. And I don't think it's happened yet. I think that might happen within the next like two or three rallies that we see. But
Wow.
like this is just the tip of the like this is really like I'm telling you, I think this is very, very small picture, very small sample size of what we might be seeing. I think you
And,
get some huge rallies down the line.
and to your point, bro, I want to put this side by side because I think we get confused sometimes, just not just us on the call, but just a lot of investors just with a lot of news going on. This is the NASDAQ that's cooling off in quotation. I'm gonna put that in quotation, cooling off. When we go side by side, say with the Nasdaq and let's go S&P 500. We're listen, we're I feel like we're not that far off from those all-time highs. So Nasdaq is getting a breather while we're right next to all-time highs. What happens when the Nasdaq actually roars back and we're already next to all-time highs? Right? So when we're looking at this, it looks I feel like we're looking at the Nasdaq chopping a bit, right? We're looking at it chopping a bit. You know, it's 6% off of its highs. And then when we look at the S&P 500, it's about what 1% off of its highs. What happens when this roars back to the upside when we're already right next to all-time highs on the entire big board? So to Joseph's point, I think we got a lot more higher to go, bro. I think we got a lot more higher to go. And so when you see this still sitting still, I wanna go over a couple of things that I was seeing earlier. So one good reference or resource that I like to use is Yahoo Finance. You can use so many. I think Joseph talked about, I think it was Stock Twiz or was it FinTwiz or something like that. He had said let me see. Check this real quick. So go to Yahoo Finance. You can come to markets, and then I really just go to screen. Let me see research actually screeners. When you come to screeners, you're like okay, I see the market staying strong, but I feel like tech has been selling off. You can go to day gainers on this, and you can look up like say you can adjust it right. You got different filters that you can say, man, okay, so all these stocks were up today. Well, you got this stock that was up 35%, $10 today, while the market was down bad. You got Sanders down 100, 200. You got SpaceX falling, you got all these companies falling. But then you got all these stocks that are putting up numbers, right? And obviously these are smaller stocks. And then me personally, you know my game, you know my bag. I really don't like playing with stocks that are $7. See this? Right? That are $6. Lucid Group, right? We know about the car company, right? 14 bucks, right? If you don't like that, like I don't, right? And everybody, you can do what you want to do. You can go to these filters and you're like, okay, what about the companies over $100 billion? The large caps. I want to talk about the big dogs. What did they do today? Who moved in the large caps really well today? And then you got your companies like this, Abbott, Abbott Laboratory, right? They reported earnings today. They was up 10% today. $9. So on a day when the market is selling off, there's always a sector of companies that are doing well, and vice versa. When there's a sector that's running, there's always a sector that's falling. I hope that makes sense. So when we look at Abbott Laboratory, this is something that everyone can do. These are just references you can look at, like what stocks are moving higher today while the market is moving lower. And if I can find a trend or spot a trend, I might see something. Right. So on the table view, like I said, these are companies worth more than 100 billion. So this market cap right here, 172 billion, 136 billion, 295 billion dollars. That means there's a lot of money valuated in these companies. Right. And so we see leading the race, Abbott Laboratory. We got Philip Morris. We got Stryker Corporation, another a health company, up 4%, up $14 today. Right. Up $14 today. Right. And another thing I love to look at is this average volume, right? How much in volume do these companies typically average when it comes to trading, right? And when you see these numbers are really higher than normal, like average is 13 million, you got 27 million. Hmm, maybe if I could have spotted this probably a couple days before or a couple weeks before, and I'm watching the volume and I'm seeing this thing ramp up a bit, I might see something. I might spot something, right? And I'm not saying that you need to take a trade or that you need to make a move, but I am saying that as you get better at seeing stuff, you can make a better game plan on how to move forward. What's up, Joe?
It also helps kind of rotating into defense stocks. Like the
Yes.
Walmarts of the world, the Costco's of the world. Like we kind of our focus is on the ones that we hear about every day, not the companies that we see every day. Kind of like the boring ones, like the Walmarts, the Costco's, I have a whole watch list of just defense. But all of these stocks, like if you look at the charts, like if whenever you go back and look at the charts, like you'll see Walmart took a hefty pullback. Costco took a really hefty pullback. And one thing that we got to take into consideration, these guys are big dogs in terms of dividends, big
Yeah.
dogs in terms of dividends. So you're getting paid to own these companies that are defense to the kind of the high upside stocks you guys are buying, right? The risk on assets. So never, ever a bad thing to kind of scale into defense when you guys are scared. If you guys are feeling like, oh, the market is like shaky, never a bad time to get into defense, really. They tend to always grow.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. So for everyone looking at this, this is something that you should look into, right? Whenever you're looking for day gainers, and then you can look for the losers, right? Let me see if I can go back a bit. Let's see. We'll go back to it. So from the beginning, so you can see. So you got your day gainers, and then you got your day losers. Who's the biggest losers today? Man, ASTS Mobile was it down 17%, right? I got shares of that, right? I was believing in the future of right, the rockets and the space and all of that that was connected to around the SpaceX IPO. I've actually been investing into ASTS for about a year and a half now. And I got them around I think $40 per share. So, with them being at what 55 now, they went up to about 100 and something, 133 here. That was their high, and they're sitting at 55. I've experienced a hefty pullback in just my share portfolio. But am I giving up on the company? No, I don't think the story's changed. I think space in the future for what's going to be basically the ecosystem for how we move from Earth to up there. I think all those companies that are leaders today are going to be very important in 10 years, 20 years, 15 years, 30 years, right? So I'm not giving up on the story. What did Key say earlier? When the market's down, do what? Buy more. What did KB say? Buy more, right? I believe in him. So you go to the daily losers and look at number in 11th place. Look at 10th place. The biggest losers of the day. There's a company that everyone's been championing since the first day, down 12%, $203. And I want us to look at their all-time high here. 2354 was their all-time high. They are down to 1400. So if you've been investing into this for about a week and a half, from 2300 to 1400, I know you feeling that. I know you're feeling that. And I feel like Sanders got a little bit lower to go. But then also as we look at the 52 week on the upside, what was the 52 week on the downside? Dude, they were $40 per share, man. $40 to 1400, my guy. This talk about healthy pullback. It still needs to pull back for this to be healthy. 40 to 400 is like, damn, okay, that's crazy. 40 to 1,000, nigga, what is going on? 40 to 2,300 in 1 year. Something's not right. That's all I'm gonna say. And I'm saying it because I missed most of that run. But something not right, man. Something not right. Something not right. So, and then we look at SK Hynix. Same with they just IPO recently. And I feel like I hope everyone is getting used to this. And I said this in the chat last week. I want us to be very mindful of these IPOs. We have more IPOs that we're about to go through this year. Anthropic, OpenAI, Anduril over the next year, right? We have more companies that are going to IPO. And if you keep not believing into the hype, but buying into the hype, you're going to keep getting crushed, right? Wait for this stuff to level off. Wait for this stuff to calm down. You don't even know what they reported in earnings, and you're putting most of your capital into an IPO. Dude, the ones that are really taking advantage of the IPO gains are the ones that already got in before the IPO or before it even talked about even IPOing. So they're seeing the benefits right now. We're not seeing the benefits right now. And if you got into SK Hynix and it got up to $194 in these past couple of days on IPO and it's sitting at 150 share wise, you're getting crushed right now. So just kind of wait, right? Just kind of wait. And I feel like a part of that as well. I think I think another reason why the market needs to calm down is because, bro, you got companies that are turning individual people into trillionaires overnight by just them IPOing. That's not normal and it's not healthy. If we want to run for 30 years, you need to kind of run calmly, cool, and collected for 30 years. You don't need to just keep going up and up and up. It's not going to be sustainable because always remember the quicker you go up and the higher you go up really, really fast, the harder you fall really, really fast as well. All right. We understanding that? So I want to go over what company was that? I'm gonna look at space. No, not SpaceX. It's not. And another reason why I'm not looking at SpaceX right now, and we talked about this. I remember Brother Keys said, bro, it got up to 225. We could have shorted this thing on the way down. Hold on real quick, Joseph. On the way down, we could have shorted this. We could have bought puts. Mind you, um, option trading wasn't available immediately on SpaceX, right? So we had to wait. If you did get in for sure on the downside, but when it comes to data and what we have available to us, what data can we go back to that shows us, man, this is a good support line here? Or man, their revenue is showing this right now. Or man, I think there's a good trend line here. You don't have any. You don't have any at all, right? Joseph, what's up, brother?
I actually, do you mind if I provide an alternative opinion?
Yeah, man, absolutely. I want you to, hey, if you can
Drop
counter,
down time frames, drop down time frames. Watch this. I'm gonna show you something so cool.
talk to me. To the hour, what minute, what?
4 hour doesn't matter. You can always track intent. Um, you're like me. Your philosophy is exactly like you kind of follow like a Peter Lynch philosophy.
Mhm.
Buy companies you understand, big giants, kind of ones that you don't have to play guessing games on. I don't like buying stocks that are like $5 either. Penny stocks, you're straight up gambling. But this you can like actively draw out your trend lines, and whenever you get like a really big major break of structure, you're not just kind of gambling on where the bottom is or bottom fishing. You're buying value. Right now, what is SpaceX down like 40%, 50%?
Yeah, I think so, bro. Let me see.
This is only the first major trend. We haven't even started forming different trends.
Exactly.
Like every single stock, like if you want to you have TradingView Premium, like if you compare this to like a Robinhood or like a Palantir, it's the same cycle, guys. It is the exact same cycle.
Exactly. So how far lower do you think SpaceX can go?
You probably got like $80,
Yeah, I think
$70
that.
maybe.
You said $7?
No, no, no. Oh, $7. If I'd remortgage my house. The only problem I have with SpaceX is I don't know how we'd operate if we get that merger with Tesla. That's the only thing. I don't know how that would work.
Mm,
That is the only
I
problem I have with
think
this.
I think it would probably send it up, and I think that's the catalyst that a lot of people are waiting on is that merger. But I think it's going to go down first, weed everybody out, gain that liquidity. For the people that don't really understand the company, and I think it's gonna weed them out first. For me, from a fundamental, see, I don't look at. I mean, I can look at a chart, I can read a chart, I can do all that, but at the same time, I look at a fundamental thing of the company. Well, over the last what 15 years, he has the most satellites that are up there. So if you control anything, just anything in life, if you're the controller and you're the person that has the most, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna make the most money out of everybody. Now, it's going to be hard starting off, right? But when you look at Starlink, right? When you look at the opportunity cost of when all of those three technologies slash, companies merge together, somebody that's already been sending off stuff to the thing, he has the cars, but he's really going to do it for the robots with Tesla, right? So you just got to fundamentally think like, okay, here's the play. It's not going to happen right in front of your face, but he's going to save the stock. Here's what's going to happen. He's going to save the stock. What's today's date?
Today,
16th.
yep,
July
last.
16th, mark my words. It's going to drop all the way down to like the 80s. He going to save the stock by merging all three companies together. Watch.
I also think a very similar thing. But like even if you open up a Tesla, for example, you'll see we've been kind of preparing for this. By the way, you can like type TSLA on your screen.
Yeah, I be remembering where they are, and then when I get on the call, I don't know where they be, bro.
I feel you.
Bro,
I feel you.
let's see.
But in terms of like SpaceX, you guys should be tracking it with trend lines. But like even if you zoom all the way out, like on the weekly time frame,
Yeah, that's what I was about to go to.
yeah, you'll notice something like really cool. And you even use fib levels, which is awesome. But like you'll notice, no, zoom like all the way out. Do you guys notice how much time we're buying here? Look at Tesla. Look at the history of this. We do the same thing every time. We trade sideways for like 10 years, and then we hit that one huge growth spurt. It's
Mm,
the same cycle every time. Why do we expect it to be any different? All assets have behavior that they undergo, right? And why are we going to bet against behavior? If you guys know, you guys all have, boyfriends, girlfriends. You know when your boyfriend or girlfriend is sad, angry, happy. You should know your investments behavior as well, right? You should know the asset that you're trading. And for Tesla, you see how much time we're buying, Nate. When did we peak at? Like prior to the last couple of times? The real consolidation happened. What year is that? 2021 or in 2026? All the way back there. Like this is one huge pattern. This is one huge head and shoulders pattern.
yeah, 2020. Yep.
There you go. Yeah. So like this is all one gigantic pattern that is just slowly grinding its way out. All of this, by the way, is a transfer of ownership. If you can put a name to why this is happening, you'll kind of get more confidence in holding it. Think of all the people that were so negative on Tesla. Oh my God, Tesla's gonna tank. Oh, Tesla this, Tesla that. And then what happened? We ended up hitting all-time highs. Obviously, we trended lower. We had different periods of ups and downs. But right now, all of this is just one huge transfer of ownership. And it's either you're part of it or you kind of get left behind and you're looking back in hindsight like, damn, I had all this opportunity. And that's kind of how it goes.
So I got a quick question. And just on your perspective, when it comes to the fundamentals of these companies, though, you got your Teslas, your Palantirs, they're not their ratios for what they're profiting and what they're worth, it's still not adding up. Do you think that's another reason why Tesla's been consolidated the way it is, kind of waiting, buying that time for things to catch up?
I do. I do. I think all of that plays a contributing factor. But I also focus on long-term ownership of said asset. Like right now, if I see Tesla going up another 400% in, I don't know, 5, 10 years, the growth,
400%?
yeah, that's very, bro, we've been consolidating for 5 years now. Why wouldn't we?
True.
It's been
2020.
5 years.
Yeah.
5 years.
Six,
You got to
six
consider
years. Yeah, about
6.
6.
Yeah, yeah, 6 years. My bad. You got to consider who's buying. Have you guys ever Googled how much of the stock market is owned by institutions?
What about 90%?
I think it's around at like 80, 90. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like we're buying it. We're just
Right.
retail. Institutions, the Kathy Woods of the world. You know how bullish Kathy Wood is on Tesla?
Oh yeah.
super bullish. And right now, you already have the chart pattern. It kind of shows you your intent already. You already see the pattern. It's showing you the intent. It shows you what it wants to do. It might take a long time to get there, but it is
Right.
showing you nonetheless. And that's just the way that I'm looking at it. I think there's a way because not everybody wants to, read into fundamental analysis. Sometimes it's just easier to understand the intent of the market through patterns, really. Buying good companies and kind of buying them when they're low or buying them when they're compressed. This is what we call a compression. When the market is trending sideways, it's kind of like you guys ever like hold down like a pen and then boop, it kind of just springs back up. The market is the exact same way. Right now, we're building that pressure just to get that spring. So honestly, these are companies that I would suggest everybody adjust their expectations on. The Teslas of the world, 10-year timeline. And yeah, just kind of keeping that good mindset of, hey, eventually when this does break out, how much of this company can I own before it does? The previous behavior has already showed you what it wants to do, but it's like how patient can you be?
Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, man, I think a couple good things that Keys just said and that Joseph just said is long-term perspective, bro. And I don't agree with, I know we know a lot of people that invest, and I'm gonna let J. Cole say something too. We have a lot of people in the investing world, and this needs to be talked about. They talk about the fall of companies and how these companies are it's over with, they're done, they're cooked. Dude, we're 2026. When these mega companies, if they're struggling or if they're having a bad quarter or even a bad year, that doesn't mean you count them out, right? If they're consolidated for a decade, that doesn't mean that they're cooked. That doesn't mean that they're not the leader anymore. It doesn't mean that there's a new leader and it's over with for them. No, when you are the underdog now, remember, most of us on this call are underdogs. No one picked us to win. No one picked us to be successful. No one picked us to be great. And what happens when you're the underdog is that people forget that you still have a superpower inside of you to become something. And where they mess up is that they forget about it when you can still build yourself into something really big or reinvent yourself or innovate yourself into being something really amazing again. So I don't care if it's Tesla, Palantir, like CRM, Microsoft was going through what it was going through. Bro, if it's 2026, you've got capital, you've built a good brand, even Nike. They talked about the end of Nike, bro. I can tell you. Probably in 10 years from now, we're gonna be like, damn, I wish we would have grabbed Nike when it was all the way down there. You never don't count these companies out, bro. With AI, maybe you might need a new CEO. Before the company falls, the chairman and the board of directors are gonna vote the CEO out before we let this company fail, right? Before they fall, we're gonna switch something up. And during that switch up, bringing in a new CEO, bringing in a new board of directors, bringing in a different product, as you keep reinventing yourself, you start finding your way to getting back to where you were. So Tesla, Palantir, like I said, CRM, Microsoft, Adobe, all these companies that have been around for a long time that have been strong, it doesn't mean that it's over with for them. Even Apple. I remember people were calling for Apple, it's over with. What did they do? Change leadership. They're back on the upside. That doesn't mean they're over with because they got bad leadership. Okay, we're going to make a smart decision. We're worth a couple trillion. We're going to make a good decision. We're going to get him out, Tim Cook out. We're going to stop focusing on cell phones so much. We're going to focus more on this, focus more on software, focus more on infrastructure. We're going to make some changes, focus on AI. We make these changes. Look at Apple, back to the upside, back to the upside. So I feel like when companies on these deep discounts, like Joseph just said, bro, take advantage, man. Take advantage. If we think Tesla is undervalued, because I want J. Cole to talk about this too. If we see Tesla is undervalued for where they're potentially going to go, we see SpaceX. Damn. And then people are like, I think us we seen Market Mondays and man, they my guys. I love them, man. But I think they were saying like, oh, we gotta stop letting Elon say dumb shit. Like, all his companies are gonna be valuated more than what Earth is worth, and something like that. Me and KB was talking about that, and in retrospect, it's like, man, yeah, that's dumb as hell. Who does he think he is to say that, bro? That's Elon Musk, bro. He told you a long time ago, I'm gonna have 4 to 5 to 6 companies that are gonna be IPO and publicly traded on the stock market. He just did his fourth one. He just did his fourth one. He still has Starlink. Still has Neuralink. Um, he still has, I think, is it the Boring Company, unless they already IPO'd, and you don't know what next that he has in his bag. Who does he think he is to say, bro? He's a trillionaire. He's a trillionaire, bro. He has Tesla. Like, bro, if this is really undervalued over time, I think that's a good point that Joseph said. Maybe in the next year we might not see this 400% upside, but over the next 5 to 10 years, we could see this upside. And same with the S&P 500, we could see this upside going crazy. We could see another one, Nvidia. Nvidias are in the 200s. I see Nvidia at the forefront. I see Nvidia going to 300, $400, bro. 50% gains, 100% gains from what they are today, right? So over time, not in a day, not in a couple weeks, not in a couple months, but I feel like if you zoom out, Tesla started at $1 a share in 2010. $1 a share. Same what Joseph was saying. On them couple years, people are like, man, that's not gonna do anything. It was $1. Look at this. It was $1 a share in 2010. It didn't finally break above $2 until 2013. But the question is, like I asked us a couple weeks ago, are you willing to wait 2 years to finally see the upside that you've been looking for? That's two, bro. Imagine what people, bro, this is 2 years. 2 years.
Hey
Can
y'all,
you?
don't
Yeah, what's up, brother?
forget. Go ahead. Don't forget. Go ahead. But don't forget what Robinhood took us through. Use
Come on.
Robinhood as the perfect example. We stayed down, bro. Robinhood was down to like 90. I think I was at like 80%. But I'm like, all right, I got time. And here we are. Robinhood is the perfect example. Brother, it's like you gotta stay down. We bought time, just let the play run itself. You gonna get hit. You gonna got a delta, and you got the theta, and you got all that stuff y'all use as technical traders. But look, you believe in the company. You know what the company is gonna do. You know it's a revolutionary technology, right? Who is going to adapt it? The youth that is behind us and our age group too. So just look, take this into consideration. Like this is the exact same way we rode Robin Hood out while we can't ride everything else out. Now look at this, what it's about to shoot off to. Look how Nate is drawing the lane. For y'all technical people, y'all see this like, oh yeah, it's about to take off.
Hmm.
It just retested the line. Cool. It's about to go up. You know what I mean? It was at a 150 all-time high. It took a break. Everybody took profit. Okay, if you went from, 60, $40, $50 all the way to 150, you made $100 profit per share. Why would you not pull out? You know? So
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Joseph and J. Cole, what do you want to say real quick, brother?
I
God
was
bless.
just gonna add on to the Tesla convo. The way I feel like even if sales aren't great, like if Tesla didn't sell a car this year, I'm still bullish on the future because according to Elon, at some point the focus is going to transition from the cars to the robotics, right? So
Mm,
they're gonna be a leader in robotics. So at some point that will be the focus more so than the cars, I believe. So I'm real bullish on Tesla for the long term, even just on the fundamental side because of that. And one thing about Elon, he's not always his like a lot of his predictions come true. They might not come true when he says it. So he'll be very bullish, like, oh, in the next year we'll do this and that. his timelines aren't always accurate, but a lot of times he does get done what he sets to do. So, I mean, he's got the money to do it. I think Tesla will be a leader in robotics, and I think cars will be kind of looked at as like the second thing they do.
Joseph, what's up, brother? Hey, that's fire though, J. Cole. I love that perspective, brother.
I like that.
I think in terms of like owning these companies and kind of like being patient on them. How many of you guys work like 9 to 5 jobs? I'm just curious, like how many of you guys trade full time? How many of you guys like work 9 to 5 or like even have like a business? If you guys are willing to
Oh,
like,
I
I
definitely
was
work. I
literally
work.
just looking at that by the way, Nate. Um, in terms of like your 9 to 5, you're still going to be there in like 5 years from now, right? God willing, we all start like a multi-million-dollar business, but like a lot of people are willing to wait their jobs out. Why are you not willing to wait your investments out?
Mm, that's
You
a
know what I'm
bar.
saying? Like we're all kind of in the same game here of hey, we're all getting paid from some source and we kind of have to wait that money out. Trading is the only space where money kind of feels like we're exchanging capital for more capital, right? But in terms of investing, it's not the same as trading. Not even close. So it's like, how much time are we going to spend at our jobs? And how many times are we going to say, oh, I fucking hate clocking in at 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning. Oh, I hate my boss. I hate the way this person talks to me. I hate this coworker. It's just like, if you really want to escape that, then use the time that you have there and buy more of your time back. And like, even to Nate's point, bro, you're thinking small, brother. Keep going. Keep going. Yeah,
That's
look at
so. I was trying to figure out just the percentage wise, like because this is actually ridiculous.
This one is
Um,
hard. This one is very hard because there's no real like the data that you're looking at. Like this is very difficult to predict. Like even I'm having trouble like drawing out these channels because there's no real direction. Like the reason why I'm saying that because this can pop even more than what we think.
no,
Like in
no,
my
and that's what I'm saying. I'm looking at the top of the parallel channel because like I like to do like worst case scenario. Where do we come from?
Mhm.
And I always look at best case scenario since you told us about this parallel channel. And I'm like, man, just even getting back over just the median of this parallel channel puts us at about 18, $1,900,
I that
$2,000 a share.
yeah, I think we hit there next to be honest. Like I think that's our next target. I think we'll hit there in the next like 10 years. Obviously I'm putting like a
$2,000.
very long-term target on it, but yeah, I think like I don't want to say almost guaranteed, but just based on historical data and how long the price has been compressing for, I don't think it's unreasonable. I really don't.
So I see the 2000, and then like Keys just said, J. Cole just said, and then when you look at the chart, and that's why I feel like that's what separated me when I was at the investment firm, right? Because you got people that were either traders on the floor, or you had people that were fundamental, strictly investors. But then you got someone like myself where I'm like, bro, I want to do both. I want to think and I want to see what's going on. And so to the point of what we're all saying, it's like we see the technical, but then what's the fundamental? What's the logic that can take us up here? Bro, they've already talked about robots will probably be the most expensive, the most valuable thing that we ever do or ever see in our lifetime because of how the humanoids, how they're going to integrate AI, artificial intelligence, but because robots, how Elon sees it, and he said this, I didn't say this shit. He says in the next 20, 30 years, robots are going to do so much work for the earth that we're not going to need to work. Things are not going to cost as much. Things are not going to cost at all. Everything is going to be so laborly focused from the robots and the humanoids that we really aren't going to need to pay for anything, right? Everything that you think you need to pay for now will be replaced from a robot that's a little cheaper. Prime example, when I went to San Francisco a couple weeks, yeah, about a month or two ago, really a month ago, for the New York Stock Exchange, I was speaking on the panel about artificial intelligence and how are we gonna keep that accountability system there. It's all over the Instagram, YouTube, and stuff like that. And when I'm out there, I'm looking for Ubers, but Uber is kind of showing like not NA, but it's either showing a ridiculous price to take you 5 minutes away, which is like $75 to take you 5 minutes away, or the server, the platform, it's not really working. And I'm asking someone, I'm like, so what do y'all use out here? They're like, oh, everyone only uses Waymo. I was like, what do you mean? Everyone? Like everyone. And you'll see why. I go to Waymo to take me 5 minutes away, it's $8. I'm like, what the? Now you get to San Francisco, you see everywhere you go, it's Waymo cars everywhere. I think they have a fleet of about like 1,000 cars just in the center of downtown. Imagine that, bro. In the middle of downtown, you have 1,000 cars. At one time, think about your downtown right now and all the cars that are downtown. Imagine 1,000 of the cars in the radius that are all cars with no one driving it. No one driving it. So then you get to thinking, damn, it's only $8 for this. Of course I'm going to use the car without, a driverless person. So then you get to think about what Elon said. Bro, he's like, yo, in 30 years, bro, you're not going to need to work. Why are you going to need to work? Well, to pay for shit. Why are you going to need to pay for shit if you get food for free? Well, well, I need to buy bags. Well, why do you need to pay for that when the bags are paying for itself? Because the labor to make the bags, it's not strenuous on anyone. It's not strenuous on humans. So the money is just going to be circular. He thinks doing this, making the robots, integrating the robots, is going to take us out of the national debt that we are in. And he thinks that's the only thing that can solve it. And thinking about it, bro, when you sit there and think logically, like I said, it's not just about technicals. When you think logically, bro, what's gonna take us out of this? Hold on. National debt clock, real time. This ad out of here. How do I remove this ad, bro? Close it. Okay, there. As we're speaking right now, what's gonna take us out of this? What a loan? Who got 40 trillion sitting on the side that they can just give us? Bro, as we're talking, it's going higher. Like it won't stop. Bro, it won't stop. It's going higher and higher and higher and higher. And from Elon's perspective, he's like the only thing that can get us out of this debt is that if we introduce robots that can actually make up the labor force and actually bring the income in to kind of pay this debt down. Bro, it's going higher and higher and higher. This is 39 trillion, 456 billion, 409,000,000, $190,000 of debt, bro. There's not 1 billion that can touch this, 2 billion, 10 billion. Even what Elon is worth, if we just took Elon himself, what he's worth $1 trillion and added whatever he's worth and try to pay this deficit down, we only go from 39 to 38.
That's why I never get when they act like, a few of the richest people can just solve all the issues. Like
No,
it
bro.
doesn't make sense. I mean, you saw with Bezos' ex-wife, didn't she donate like 26 billion or something? I mean,
To all, yeah, HBCUs and shit. Yep.
well, it
Mhm.
was more than that, even like world hunger things and stuff like that. And I'm
And
not
it didn't
trying
do
to
a damn thing, did it?
I was about to say, I'm not trying to discredit her donations, but does anybody here feel it different from that shit? I don't think so. So it's like, I don't think, you can get Elon to give away all his money and you about to solve world hunger, but that's like the narrative and shit, but it's not realistic.
So it's like, bro, this shit, when you see this, I want us to also remember this. Debt is money. And you should read the book, The Creature of Jekyll Island. And they talk about how they were able to start finessing the system. And the more credit and the more debt that you created, the more money that you actually put into the economy as well. So the more loans that we can issue you, we give you a $10,000 loan. We just write up and make a $10,000 loan and we issue that to you. That's $10,000 added to the debt clock that we just added into the economy. So the more you see debt going up, this is what I want y'all to get. Listen to this. As you see this debt going up, you also see the money going up. So as long as they keep printing it, we got to keep getting it, bro. It's out here for us. This ain't stopping. So as this keeps going up, that means it's more money that we can get our hands on out here. We just got to find ways to get it. We just got to find ways to get it. As this keeps going up, that means there's more and more money creating and putting into the economy. More and more and more putting in, putting in, putting in, putting in, putting in. Every second. Look at this. This thing is going crazy right now. As more money keeps getting, as this number keeps going up, more money is going into the economy. For every dollar of this that goes up, that's a dollar that is going into the economy, bro. That's how you can look at it. Probably not verbatim, right? I'm just speaking in just retrospect. We got to keep getting to it, right? So businesses, we got to start that. We got to become more valuable, right? We got to become more valuable. The way you become more valuable, you got to learn a skill. You got to be good at something. You got to get in the right rooms. You got to be around the money. Because the more valuable you become, the more money you're attracting to yourself. Okay. So I wanted to show that. You can all look that up. A couple other references, resources that I want us to look at that I look at every single week. When I'm doing my scouting reports that I send into the chat, if you're not familiar with the scouting reports, they're here, scouting reports. When I send these scouting reports for the week and I give us preparation of what's to come, right? Of what's to come, man, I'm looking at all the references that I'm looking at. Earnings seasons, bank week, Tuesday, JP Morgan, Wednesday, ASML, Thursday, we had TSM, we had Netflix, we had UNH. UNH went up. Warren Buffett must know something. And look at this company that I said that had a good day today, Abbott Laboratories. So if we take these scouting reports serious that I do every Sunday, right? I don't like obviously I don't have to do this. I'm just doing this off the strength. Like, man, I'm like, yo, I want to make sure we're prepared for what's about to happen this week. Thursday earnings, if you seen on Sunday, Abbott Laboratories, you went and did some research on them, you looking at them, you put them on your radar, you could be like, they could pop if they have some good earnings. And then on the one of the worst days of the week, which is today, Abbott Laboratories has probably the best day out of everyone. Same with Netflix. We seen them. We talked about it with Joseph last week. Man, they could fall, right? But we talked about this. They could fall. If you want to get out, get out. But if you got time on it to 2028, just buy more as it goes lower, right? If you
Do,
really believe in them.
do you mind if I take a look at Netflix?
Yeah, absolutely, brother.
I wanna show you guys kind of why I predicted this huge sell-off.
You showing on your screen or my screen? Let me see.
I'll look on my screen because I kind
Okay,
of already actually you can look on your screen if you want.
cool.
So like I think the thing that we broke down last time was like pre-anticipating the chart patterns, right? And like one thing that I kind of want to emphasize here, do you guys ever analyze how price is moving? Like look at the level of choppiness. We kind of have just a huge rally upwards, right? So one thing that I had to ask myself and what separated me from where I'm at now to where I used to be before is understanding how price can get manipulated in different types of environments. So, like to your point on SpaceX, you brought up like support and historical data and kind of understanding all how that works. In this side of things, you'll notice there's a ton of small candles just grinding its way up. When you see stuff like that, it kind of makes it more susceptible to really harsh sell-offs. So right now we've obviously gotten something like that. And go to use your measurement tool. How much is that kind of pullback from the previous no, not this one. The previous all-time highs to
This one?
yeah, to where that left shoulder might be. A little bit up, a little bit up. Keep going, keep going. You see the support like to the left of you, kind of draw it out there because that would be the left shoulder. There you go. So that's about 61%. If you're like pre-anticipating patterns, you're looking for another 61% on the other side. Where are we at now?
Let's see.
And this is how
61.
you can kind of measure this kind of stuff. So like being a trader is not all about like the chart patterns and the fundamentals. It's like, hey, how curious can I be of what is this asset doing?
61% puts us
There
at
you
about
go.
$50.
There you go. And then where would that trade into?
Woo!
That would trade into another previous support zone. That would trade into the
Support
previous all-time highs.
and a what is that? The 200-day in May.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And then if you go to use your Fibonacci tool, by the way,
See, so
draw it out from the very lows. No, no, no. You got to draw this one out from the lows to the highs. From the highs to the lows is if you're like you're planning a short, but from the lows, yeah, there you go. Where does that 618 sit at? You can also switch this into logarithmic scale.
see something.
No, no, you can switch your Fibonacci into logarithmic scale.
Oh man, hold on.
You didn't know
You
that?
gotta put me on game. Hold on. I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
know that.
Go back, switch
Hold
it in.
on. Let me see
Press
something.
Control Z. No, no, no. Press Control Z so you can go back. Like put your chart back into log.
Hold on. You about to put me on game. Hold on.
I got you. Yeah, you can switch this into logarithmic scale so you can measure different levels. I learned this from one of my old mentors.
That's fire, bro.
So if you click on the fib,
Yeah.
scroll all the way to the bottom, like open up the settings,
Oh, bet. Hold on. Hey, he teaching me something in real time. I hope y'all taking notes, bro.
double click it, double click it.
Oh, bet.
Like double left click the fib.
Hold on. See something. Mine not working, bro.
Maybe just press settings. I have no clue.
Settings. Let me see.
There you go. Scroll all the way down to the bottom. Fibs on. There you go. And then now you're looking
Wow.
at completely different levels. And then the 618 would be much, much lower. But yeah, now you're looking at different key levels.
But this puts us, that's crazy. It puts us here still, though. That for that 60% pullback, right?
hmm Well, it would be at the 50 fib, but yeah. So now you have different levels of confirmation.
Nah, that's fire. So
I
that
use
takes
this
it down about
all the time.
$53 a share.
Yeah, I use this all the time. Always be switching from linear to logarithmic. I'm telling you, it just provides so much different perspective. And now you can sort of see the head and shoulders on this one. I missed it on Google. You caught it on Google. Oh my goodness, I got caught lacking on Google. But this one, you can sort of see the head and shoulders on Netflix.
Let's see it.
You see what I'm saying? And then the right shoulder's right there.
Yeah, I see it, bro.
And then now we're just waiting on that recovery. Right now, we're in that capitulation phase. This is the harshest phase where everybody starts selling because the market kind of goes down in straight lines. It's very stressful, don't get me wrong, but if you know why we're in this phase, you kind of will be confident in buying. This is the highest probability phase that we're in to kind of buy low.
That's fire, bro. That's fire. I love that, man. And I
But
feel
yeah,
like
even if
I
you
hope I hope everybody's seen that too. How to just change that to logarithmic on their trading view too.
I'm
trust me,
definitely
bro,
gonna have to watch this one back.
this is clutch. Like there's so many minor nuances that you'll pick up just by playing with TradingView. Like if you guys ever have like a Saturday open and you're thinking, yo, let's go to the club. Fuck that. Sit on TradingView for an hour. Bro, this is your money making machine.
Facts.
This is your money making machine. Stay in the
Facts.
crib for like a day. Back test. I think a lot of like emphasis is on trading a lot of the time with like individuals, but like how much emphasis is on actually knowing why you're getting in the trades?
Mm,
A
that's
lot of your emphasis should be on, bro. I think this the core lesson of your session today should be why.
mm,
We've spoken a lot about why, a lot about why, and I think it might even be a sign for your like day-to-day weeks or your day-to-day over the next like couple of weeks. It's just like, hey, why are we going through this? Why is this happening in my life? Why XYZ, right? So like Yeah, I'd be looking at Netflix to continue going a little bit lower, but like, yeah, I have full confidence in a nice little recovery on this. Maybe not to extreme highs. I think we'll get back to all-time highs, but this does
Definitely.
look like we're in that capitulation phase where everybody's kind of scrambling and exiting the market.
Mm,
Even if
man,
you want to
that's
open
so
up like
fire.
a Costco or like a Walmart too, by the way,
Yeah,
you'll,
I'm gonna show one more. Let me go to Walmart.
yeah, Walmart is who brought up Walmart? I think you've been looking at Walmart for a while.
Yeah, I was looking at it, but it's just been consolidated for a while, bro, too, man. See. Well, when you zoom
This one,
out, well, hell
yeah.
no. On the zoom out, no.
This is a beast, bro. This is a monster.
What the fuck? This shit got down to 0.004 cents a share.
Yeah, this is the monster.
1974, though.
My mom's birth year.
1974. That's what's up, man.
This is a monster. Like even if you guys are buying this just for the dividend, like look, bro, look at the massive recovery. It might trade sideways for prolonged periods of time, but you're still getting a dividend on it.
Definitely. Definitely something to own, especially in the portfolio, owning it, not trading it. So that's one thing too. Like we be trying to make sure that we're not trading a lot of these companies that we should be owning for a 10-year, 20-year perspective as well. I feel like I messed up as well doing that over the years, where
Same.
instead of just trying to trade and get 100%, 200% on proud of myself, that same company that if I owned it, I'd be up 800% in equity, right?
I, I did the exact same thing. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's why I always preach like you should be trading very selectively. Like your trade should have higher standards than anything else. Like really, because trades you can lose money trading, but investing, if you hold for long enough, there's a very, very small chance you'll lose. I think
Very
the
small.
I don't remember what it was, but they did like a shoot, I totally forget what it was, but they did like a test to see how long it would take to actually like lose money on investing. And apparently like after 5 years, I think like the odds kept getting lower and lower and lower of you losing money. The longer you hold, the lower your odds are of you losing money. And
Man,
why? Because it kind of ties back to our core philosophy. Even yours, Nate. Buying
yes, sir.
good companies, buying very good companies, and then letting time do the work.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm with it, man. And I think that's why it's important for us to continue this just to keep circulating this information, because I feel like as we continue to keep circulating this, we grow even more. And then we zoom out. I think it's important for us to continuously keep having a longer term perspective. Most multimillionaires are in their 50s, bro, 60s, 70s, right? So if majority of them are in their 60s and 70s, why are we complaining that we're not multi-deca millionaires in our 20s or 30s, early 40s, right? Right? So I think long-term perspective is not only going to help our portfolios grow, it's going to help us slow down in our decision making. All right. And I know we about to get off here. We've been on here for a bit. But I think just long-term thinking is just it's so vital to what we're trying to do, what we're trying to build. Wherever you at in your life, wherever you at in your journey, dude, think long-term about it. Think long-term about it. Same as these companies, same with your business, same with what you're trying new. You never are really, really good at something that you're brand new to. It takes time to develop. Same with having a kid, right? Your kid doesn't know how to walk and talk and read and apply to college or drive a car in the first couple of years. It takes a while. It takes a decade or two. So if it takes a decade or two for them to develop, why are you giving yourself 1 year, 2 years to be successful? Right?
I think even for me, I don't know if you guys know my story. I had a lot of early success first in trading. I would take it all back. Genuinely, I'll take it all back. I think somebody brought up understanding like the importance of like money, like understanding really
Yeah,
the
Nigel.
importance of
Yeah.
money, right? So like when I first started, imagine coming into trading, like my first stock I made 13 bands, my first crypto I made 60. It's just like, how do you tell a 22-year-old, 21-year-old like what to do? It's just like I just made 80 racks off fucking, off of two investments, off of big wins when you guys first start mean nothing because you're gonna lose it anyway. Guaranteed. 100% guaranteed. If you make money that you don't know how to manage, you're kind of gonna miss management after you have it. If you don't know how you made it, you're not gonna know how to multiply it.
Mm.
If you don't know how you made it the first time, you will never know how to multiply it. And I think that's why you kind of preach investing, right? Investing over trading every day. Because you kind of went through the same mistakes that I did. Bro, I went through the same mistake. And I think like every heavy hitter in this space, they've all lived through the same process. I don't think any of us are above it, to be honest.
I think going through that is important. I think it's needed because it gives you perspective, right? We can't grow the ecosystem and be at the forefront of what we do, Joseph, or what you do, me, myself, of what I'm doing, if I haven't been through what I'm telling everybody else that they're about to go through. Right. If someone has experienced drawdown in their account, that their account is bleeding. If I haven't experienced that, how am I gonna tell your ass how to feel? Right. I've had to blow my account several times, several times. Me and Keys have talked about this, I think last year. We felt what it's like to be down to be up 50 in a day and to be down 50 in a day. What does that feel like, bro? It's a gut wrench. That shit hurts, dog.
It does, bro. There's a time where I was trading at work. I think I made like 70 grand, 77,000 in like a single month. I think it took like 3 weeks. Took one really bad trade, tried to hit the 100K mark, six figures in a month, bro. I lost 20,000. 20, I lost a fucking car, bro. I lost a car in a day.
Damn.
It's just like, again, if you don't know how you made it, you'll never know how to multiply it safely. The money that you make in trading should always be put back into something safer. Always put back into something safer. If you guys make fast money, I'm telling you, a lot of the time you're trying to make more fast money. And then when do you ever slow down? I have this really core belief. Even you mentioned it. Always be prepared for those bad days, right? It's kind of like driving on the Autobahn. Imagine driving a Bugatti on the Autobahn in Germany, I think it is, right? Be able to take those car keys and just toss them out the window at full speed.
Hmm.
That's kind of how I approach trading now. It's just like sometimes enough is enough in terms of trading. And again, all of you guys, you'll hit your big win eventually. I don't suggest hitting big right now if you guys are just starting off, but those big wins should feel more earned because then you'll know how to respect it a little bit more. And I'm telling you, like Nate, from your personal experience, from my personal experience, we've been through it to talk about it. It might not resonate right now, but until they have that 100K month, and they will.
You definitely will, especially in
They,
this game.
they will. But until you kind of see the person that you become after the fact, you never look at money the same or life
You don't. You don't.
or life.
You don't look at life the same, and then you start seeing the opportunities of what you can do when you start getting money. Right. And I think that's the aspect that kind of changed it for me. When I was going on the run in 2024, of being in position, right, since 2023, 2022, 2021, when I started having 5K days, even let's lower it down to 2K days. I'm up 2 grand, 3 grand. Once you take your mind out of the investing world and start putting your lens back on real life, you start seeing how really undervalued things really are in life. When I'm making a 5K in a day, I'm like, what's a flight? Bro, I got a flight to Atlanta for InvestFest for $80. Just made 5 grand in a day. $80. Damn, okay, how much is it for the penthouse? Damn, a grand for 2 days? It's not bad. Okay. Okay, how much is it for my own chef, for my own driver, for my own clothes, for my own suit, my own tailor, my own personal tailor here in Dallas? Damn, about 600, 700 a week. That's so when you start looking at the market and you start looking in the real world, you're like, bro, your life will never be the same again. And it'll never be the same again because you start seeing like, damn, the power of this game that I'm in can actually pay for a lot of the things that I really want to do in my life. And then, like I said, flights, $80, $100, in my perspective, I think There's so much money being made that things are only going to continue to keep going up. And the reason why I'm saying that is because there's more people getting their hands on money. And when you start getting more people with their hands on money, the valuation of things just naturally just have to start going up. So you start seeing back in the day, even today, you go see Toy Story 3 or the movie Obsession, you go to the movies, man. I went the other day, I'm like, damn, tickets only $13 for a whole movie experience. I can lay back, recline, $13. I mean, the popcorn, the drinks, yeah, they're probably expensive, but in retrospect, for an entire experience of me leaving my house to go into a cinematic theater, I'm spending at max popcorn, drinks, in a movie theater for myself $30. You start seeing, damn, that's really nothing. So then over time, you're gonna start seeing these prices are not going to be the same. You're going to start seeing concert tickets go up higher and higher. A full experience to see your favorite artist isn't going to be a couple hundred no more. It's going to be a couple thousand. A couple thousand is going to get higher and higher. A plane ticket being $100, $200. You see, Spirit Airlines went out of business. They don't got the capital. They don't got the funds, right? Because prices are going up. So you start seeing, damn, these prices are going to start slowly, incrementally just going higher and higher and higher. So that is why you have to be invested. The first thing I learned at the firm, at the investment firm that I was at, Charles Schwab, the first thing you learn when you're studying at SIE, you're studying a Series 7. The first thing that you learn is the number one way to beat inflation is investing into stocks. That's the first thing you learn in the book. Number one thing that you see in the book, right when you open the book, the number one way to keep up with inflation is investing into stocks. That's the first thing you learn. Because as inflation goes higher, the only other thing that will float higher as well is the valuation of these companies. That's why we have to be a part of them. That's why we have to own them. So, man, that's our call tonight, man. Man, drop some fires in the chat. Tell us in the chat, man, how this call was. I hope it was great. I hope it was informative. I hope it gave a little bit more perspective, and a little bit more peace, for what's going on in the market right now. I know we're seeing a sell off in tech. July is not adding up to be what it typically is, right? But I hope today kind of gives some more insight, some more perspective on some resources to look at, on looking long term of trading less, but trading more accurate, right? Or being a sniper more of over a machine gunner, right? Hearing different perspective of the market, seeing what Joseph did wrong, seeing what I did wrong, right? And then trying to make those decisions so you can make better decisions moving forward, man. So thank y'all again coming on. We're growing, bro. We're growing so much. InvestFest in August. So, update on InvestFest. So I try to get a head count from everybody. So I got a head count from everybody. About 18 people that I talked to that is coming down with us already reserved their hotels. So the reasoning that we're not going to get the Airbnb of 15, 18 people Airbnb, I would have loved to, but I have a lot of people that already said, hey, bro, I already booked my reservation. I'm at the hotel where the event is. Nah, I'm not gonna do the Airbnb this year, but next year let's do it. Let's plan it out a couple months in advance. Let's get that $3,000 Airbnb. Remember, I was looking to reserve that for 3,000. 15 of us, 20 of us, bro. What's that? Less than $200, $300 a person for a 15 bed, 20 bed mansion. That's not bad. But like I said, a lot of us said they already reserved rooms. They already got a kind of a game plan of walking over, not renting a car. They're gonna be at the Mercedes Benz. So this year we're gonna do more of a just get your hotels. We all gonna link up. We still gonna be at all the spots. I'm gonna see your itinerary, what we do for nightlife, where we gonna be kicking it at, where we gonna be chilling at, where we gonna be networking at, all of that. I'm gonna send that in the chat as the week come on. But other than that, how we feeling, family? How everybody feeling before we get off here?
I
Keys,
might be coming from Canada, by the way.
look at, hey,
Well,
Joseph said
We'll
he might
see.
be coming from Canada, bro.
now I
Uh,
Flights,
got
flights are like a
Oklahoma joining
oh.
us
bro.
from
Flights are
Canada.
like a bill 60 to Atlanta from Detroit. So I'm like, you know what? Let's take a little trip to Detroit and then fly over to the ATL. I think the hotels like a couple $100. What's a couple $100, bro? To come link up with you guys,
Come
come
on.
meet people, come be part of that environment. Like you said, you want to be in a room with the right people. You guys are the right people. Everybody there is the right people. We all want the same thing. Every time that you guys come on here, you guys are not on here for no reason. You guys are on here because the energy is high. We talk about stuff that people don't talk about, bro. We talk about stuff that makes people extraordinary. All of these calls are extraordinary. We're not ordinary people. Being in a room with a bunch of extraordinary people is special. Very, very, very special. And I don't know if I can miss that. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if I can miss that. So we'll see how to everything's looking out, but I think 90% chance we're flying out to ATL.
Hey man, we got this motherfucker flying in from Canada. Your ass better be in Atlanta, everybody. If your ass not in Atlanta, we gonna have a problem,
You
dog.
know what?
Yeah, I got my
I'm
homies
gonna
coming
book
from
my flight
Dubai.
now.
They coming to Invest Fest. And my homies
From
from
Dubai,
Dubai and Canada. Yeah. So I'm gonna add them to the group chat. I don't think they
add
have
them in the
a
chat. I'm gonna add Joseph in there too.
yeah, bro. We're
Um,
gonna be deep. Hey,
bro,
everybody black suit one day though. Gotta
yeah,
we gotta roll blackout looking like the mob, man. We gotta
we gonna beat them
dress
up. We gonna beat
dress
them up,
that
and then
cool.
I got a lot of people come from Dallas, and make sure we keep on our calendars too. Make sure that second or third week of November we keep one of those weekends open. For the ecosystem link up in Dallas, Texas. I told you I got the venue locked in already. Everything's paid for. You just need to get your ass down here. You just need to get your ass down here. We're gonna get an Airbnb for that for sure. Gonna reserve that for sure. You
We
don't need to worry
got
about no
to.
hotel. You don't need to worry about no hotel or where am I gonna stay? I'm gonna probably get a 15 bed big house out here. It was only a couple grand for 3 days. It was like $3,000, bro. 3 grand for 3 days, bro. So a weekend, Friday, Saturday, and you can leave Sunday and be back for work on Monday. So second or third week in November, so before Thanksgiving. And mind you, Dallas in November, still 90 degrees, bro.
That
It's still 90. It
still
might push to
90.
95 degrees this year. November in Dallas is not cold. Pretty warm. I told you this past year in Christmas, I was on my rooftop with my shirt off on in my pool on December 25th. That is ridiculous, bro. When it is snowing everywhere in Dallas, Texas, I was in my pool with my shirt off, drinking a little mocktail, kicking it back, man. So man, we locked in, family. I'm so proud of us, bro. Welcome all the new members to the ecosystem that just joined, bro. We gonna grow. And I need to start seeing this more. And I'll leave us with this. If you have a brother, if you have a sister, if you have a friend that you think that can benefit from what we're doing and what we're building, don't be afraid to add them to the ecosystem, man. Don't be afraid hey, bro, we doing something beautiful over here. There's so many people that can change their life off of this. There's so many people that have changed their life off of this, right? So many people that have gotten jobs through the ecosystem, right? And so many testimonies. I need to talk about it more. I kind of keep it private, but we have people inside the ecosystem that is like, bro, if you didn't make the connection between me and him in the ecosystem, I wouldn't have a job right now. I wouldn't be able to take care of my family, my son, my daughter. I wouldn't be able to build that retirement account. You made the connection in the ecosystem, reached out. I reached out to him. We set up a call, flew to DC. We talked about everything and we got it done, bro. I got a job now. Bro, that's the power of the ecosystem, bro. It's not just about making 30,000, 50,000 in a day. No, it's about growing together. We keep each other accountable. We grow each other. We love each other. And we gonna build together. We all gonna be multimillionaires together. And then when we get there, we all gonna be like, damn, people gonna be like, damn, y'all just met each other. No, we've been locked in for a decade, 10 years, 12 years. Damn, y'all started when y'all, bro, 2024, 2025, 2026, you wasn't there. You should have seen it's 2030 now. You should have seen what we was doing in 2025, 2026 together.
96. Should have seen.
You should have
Was you
seen it.
there?
You
Did
wasn't
you
there. You got
endure?
people just now getting into real estate, getting into stocks. It's 2030. Like, damn, y'all boys, y'all tight. Bro, y'all like, damn, like how do I be a part of that? And I just always want us to just represent that, bro. I want us to, like I said, keep loving each other, keep building. We in a chat, bro. So if you need anything, hit that chat. We got one more day tomorrow of trading. Then we go into the weekend. Let this bullshit ass week, this bleeding week, let this shit be over with. We go into the weekend. We enjoy ourselves, bro. And then we finish on July
Hey,
12th.
all y'all skated too. I only got two replies. So Niles, uh I got KB, I ain't get yours. Where Mace at? Alante, I ain't get yours. Malcolm, I ain't get yours. Where my 60 at, dog?
Hey man, I put up 285 today, man. I
Man,
give
Ooh.
I
your
don't. Can I
60.
get my
On
60,
bench?
dog?
We
Hey,
gotta
hey,
get that for you,
yo.
man. We gotta get that
Hey,
for you.
dog.
That's another thing I want to talk about. Man, we in that gym too, bro. Shout out to KB, bro. We all know KB
285. Hey, do
285.
y'all
Shout out.
see my man's last
Yes,
year
sir.
investment photo? He looked like he was so skinny, bro. I looked
For
at a
real.
picture with him, Nate. Nate. Hey, I was like, boy, this boy that really been in there pumping that iron, huh?
Pumping that iron, bro. We in there pumping that iron. So yeah, man. Shout out to KB too, man. I know he does a lot for us. Everyone knows KB does a lot for what we building, man. We got it in at the gym the other day. And man, we put it up, bro. I know y'all seen it. Guys is clearing 250 now, 275 now, 285 on bench. It's not just about investing, bro. It's holistical way of living.
He said I
Trying to
put
eat
up
right, live
285.
right, feel right, invest right, have a bag, and just be great people. So, hey, y'all get some rest, man. I'm about to go get some food, y'all.
Take care, family.
Yes,
Love
sir.
y'all.
Peace
All right,
out.
family.
Love,
Good to see
love,
y'all.
love.
Love and
Love, family.
blessings.
Love family.